David proved why he is the greatest YouTuber to ever be on YouTube.
That 14-minute video he put out, I shit you not, it got to the 9-minute mark before I checked like how long I was into the video, and I literally was like, that could have been 30 seconds. It is so effortless, it is so good, and there's a reason why he was the king of YouTube for so long. Welcome to The Real Oshow. I'm Zachary. Joining me as always is my partner in crime, my brother Joshua.
And on today's episode, we talk about Lil Baby's new album, Gelo's new song, Tweaker, and David Dobrik is back.
For greatness. They paper getters, they want money more than they want fame shit. I swear we go so hard, we on A-list. I see my niggas prevailing. We going hard for the hand. We gonna stack till we jaded.
This is a great interview. They doing their thing.
Man, I feel like this week's been wild. I feel like there's a lot going on in culture. First week kind of back from the holiday vortex, back to work. There's a lot going on. Some new music, a new hit song, new content coming out. It's been a wild week, Osh.
Yeah, did you have you checked out the new Baby album yet?
I have, and I want to go back.
What were your first thoughts? I want to know first thoughts when you listen to it.
A lot better than I think people are giving him credit for.
100%. I think that this Baby project was fantastic. I'm not going to say it's the greatest Baby project
Not
he's
fantastic.
ever did.
Don't say fantastic.
I downloaded 6 songs off it that
but
I
that's
think
not
are
fantastic.
legitimate songs.
That's a great
No.
that's a solid project. That's not fantastic because I was about 6. I think I'm like 6 or 7, so we're right around the same
But
area.
I'm just saying, I think that he dropped the perfect amount of songs, 15 songs. The way I break down an album, what was the first song like? An absolute hit. What was the last song like? A hit. Who were the features? Rod Wave, Rilo. Like, he has some
Young
good...
Thug.
Young Thug. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Thug song and Future song, I don't really care for.
I
that
actually
much.
liked it.
I
That
don't
was one
care
of the
for it
songs
that
I
much.
downloaded. I actually liked it.
I don't really care for that song as much, but I like Slow Baby.
Yeah.
The Slow Baby was kind of hot.
Young Thug and Future, it was the number 2 song, right? Dumb, Dumb, and Dumber.
Yeah.
That song will probably do the best on the whole project, streaming-wise. I think that'll be the best song.
Maybe, you know.
Or the Rod Wave and Rilo will probably mix out, but they're 2 different songs.
By myself, Rod Wave, Rilo is the best song off the album. It's not even close.
I agree.
It's not even close.
But that's not
even close.
But that's not going to be played in a club.
100% it will.
Dumb, Dumb, and Dumber will be played in the club. Like crazy.
Dumb, and Dumber was not. It was actually underwhelming. I was thinking like first Thug feature out of jail. It's going to be hot. It was like, Like the whole song was
Well, he can't say 90% of the shit he used to say.
It doesn't
So what are you
matter.
gonna say?
So these
Like-
these are my favorites off the album. So obviously, Listen Up, the intro, Streets Colder, the outro. I Promise is probably one of my favorite songs off the album, and I considered it. It's like Close Friends. We started off as close friends.
Nothing will ever compare to that song. That's Baby's best song.
That's Baby's best song. But he was trying to get in that Close Friends bag when he made I Promise, and I can appreciate that, honestly. And then I liked So Sorry. I thought that was also a hit.
Yeah.
If you look at all the songs I downloaded, they're all the slower songs off the album. I like Slow Baby. I don't like the trap shit Hard Baby.
I was really surprised with how Twitter, even Kai Cenat, reacted to the project. It goes back to my point I always fucking say. Lil Baby is 4 years into the rap game at the highest level with one of the biggest spotlights, and people don't give him credit for that. Now, I want to say, outside of like a Drake, like having 6 good songs on a 15-song project is a great project. Outside of a Drake, that is a great project. Now, everybody's putting Lil Baby on these Drake standards, these Kendrick standards, these Future standards, these Young Thug standards, and he's not that. Those people have been in the game for a fucking decade.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I also think
At
that
the highest level for a decade. Not even, they've been in the game for 15 years, but they've been in the spotlight for 10 years. Lil Baby dropped one fucking project, made one hit song, and was the most viral person, and now he has that spotlight beaming on him, and he's still trying to learn the fucking game.
Yeah, I agree. I did not like Kai's reaction to it. Kai's reaction made me not want to listen to it for like multiple days after the fact. So like that's how much pull Kai has. I was kind of like, if it wasn't very trending, like I was thinking if Kai was reacting to it, there'd be like one mega viral moment that I'm like, oh shit, I got to go check out the album. There wasn't really that. It was very underwhelming, and Kai kind of definitely hurt his sales. Like definitely hurt his sales.
Now you could see though, if you listen to the project, if you haven't already, if you've listened to it a couple times, I think songs get better. The project will get better with more listens. Now, there is some shit in the project where you're like, what the fuck were you doing there? But I want to add, just because it's not a good song, I appreciate Baby for trying new things.
See, I think this was experimental. I thought this
agree.
whole album was experimental.
But we talked about Rob Jua, right? He said the artists that are getting better are trying new shit. The fact that he was trying new shit makes me feel like, fuck, he's finding himself, he's doing things. And we even talked about the last Futures project when I was like, bro, it sounds like he was fucking memeing it because he was doing so much experimental shit. Now I like Baby sprinkling a little bit of that in. And I just want to state before we turn topics so you add your point, Lil Baby's project is really good. It's not fantastic. It's not his best work, but this is really good, Lil Baby, and we're seeing the progress.
This is the best Baby
himself.
in years. Other than when he debuted it and was on a generational run, this has been his next best thing. And I think that truthfully, like I did like the him and Dirk Feed the Streets. I liked that. But that was a dual album. And I don't even know if this is considered an album, if this was just a project, whatever this is considered. It's hard to know in today's age because everything just gets dropped on a fucking platform. But I thought it was fantastic. Like Baby is on the right direction. People are going to over critique him. I thought the same thing. He is way over critiqued. He gets held to a standard that's not even fair to him. But that's kind of what happens in this internet age when you blow up overnight and you got 30 million monthly listeners and you're selling tours, whatever it is. I completely get it. But just to transition, because there's been someone who's been taking over the internet right now. I mean, like literally taking over every sporting event. They had Shaq and Kenny fucking singing this song, but it's Gelo. Sorry, I don't know why I said Gelo. Gelo's Tweaker. I'm in
LiAngelo. It's LiAngelo Ball. But it's the forgotten about Ball brother.
But his rap name is Gelo.
Yeah, I know. But just for the people out there, he's the forgotten about Ball brother. And I want to say this. I truly can't tell if it's actually a good song.
No, it's a hit.
Or it's just everybody fucking memeing it.
No,
I can't tell.
It's actually a hit. And, I listened to, there's a very famous music executive who used to talk about this. And this is why I know it's a hit. Because he used to say that lyrics don't matter. It's all about humming it. If people can hum the song, it'll be catchy and it'll be a hit. No one knows the lyrics. It's just like, I'm swerving in this, whoa. And like that right there, you don't even need to know the lyrics. You're just waiting for the, oh. And like that it's programming, and that's what makes it so catchy. I was just thinking about it. That song is like an OG video game song. Like when I'm in like you were playing like Madden 06 and it's got like that's exactly what it reminded me of. And I'm calling it right now. The Real Oshow said it first. Gelo song Tweaker will be in 2K whenever it gets fucking updated, whatever the new version comes out. This song is built for 2K.
I agree with that. If his last name wasn't Ball, no one would know the song and no one would give a fuck.
But do you know
that.
why this song even got big? Do you know how it got big?
I imagine LaMelo was like, play the song.
No, that's not at all what happened.
Because he's hella lit.
No, Gelo was with Neon. Neon and him were in the car, and Neon was like asking about him. He's like, "Oh, you're making music now?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Bro, come on, like play some shit." And he's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna play anything." He's like, "Come on, man, play some shit." He played this single song, and it got clipped. It went so big overnight that he then dropped it on the platform. Fun fact. Gelo wired Neon $100,000 because he was like, "You just put my song on. You can't pay for that. It's worth way more than $100,000. Everyone knows about this song. Like it's gonna be arguably one of the songs we look back at and we're like, oh fuck, I remember that. It's that big."
My biggest thing with it, where I think I'm having the problem with it, is that if he wasn't a Ball brother, and LaMelo wasn't single-handedly one of the biggest rising stars in the NBA. This song is nothing.
Listen,
it's the mystery of two of your brothers being in the NBA. You're the forgotten about brother. Your dad says you suck at basketball. And now you're rapping. And then, yes, the song has to be good for people to play it. But deep down inside, I just feel like it's a fucking meme. I feel like they're just memeing it.
Dude, shout out to LeVar Ball because this man deserves some flowers. He went 3 for 3 if you're really being honest with yourself. Like, Gelo is like the forgotten one. He's the one that no one cares about. But like, if you look at him, bro, he's like, what, 6 years old? Like, the guy's young as fuck. He's going to be fine. The guy's rich as fuck.
I didn't say he was going to be a loser.
No,
I just said he's the forgotten about Ball brother.
But people will assume that. They're like, oh, he's the fuck up. He's the mistake. But it's like, in the end of the day, like, bro, look at yourself right now. You know what I mean? Like, you got to look yourself in the mirror sometimes.
I mean, he did try to shoplift in Japan, which is probably the biggest no you could do.
I thought it was China, but
wherever the fuck. Some Asian-specific country. I don't fucking know. But listen, I don't know. Song is catchy. deep down inside of me, I just feel like it's a meme. But I do want to say something that I don't know if you know where I'm going to take it. So Billboard dropped their 100 most influential artists of the 21st century. I don't know if you saw the list.
No.
Taylor Swift was number 1.
Obviously.
Drake was number 2.
Obviously.
And on the whole top 100, there was no Kendrick Lamar.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you promote gang violence and it's like that's not good. No part of that is good.
But how can it be people's favorite artist and him being the best in the game or top 3, one of the top 3, and then him not be on the top 100 most influential list of the 21st century? It makes no fucking sense to me.
I would ask Kendrick fans, what is Kendrick number 1 at? Like, for real. Like, I respect Kendrick. I think he's a great artist, but I don't think he's number 1 in any category. LA rappers, maybe. He's the number 1 LA rapper, but that's about it.
You want to know who else made the list? R. Kelly. Bro. Feel like that's a little bit of a...
Bro.
It's a little weird.
No, it's not weird. I'll tell you why. Holiday Inn remix is a generational
What,
song.
of the 21st century?
It's a... Dude, at
that
the
shit was
Holiday
made like...
Inn,
I know, but that shit was made like 15 years ago.
Don't matter. It does not matter. That song is a bigger hit than any of Kendrick's songs today. I could put Holiday Inn remix on in any environment on earth, and it would get more sing-alongs than any Kendrick song ever.
You don't think swimming pools would get some sing-alongs?
Not compared to Holiday Inn.
Yeah, you're right.
Because it's a
or
singing.
Some Ignition.
Ignition. Oh my God.
That
Ignition
song's hot.
remix. Oh
That
my
song's
God,
hot.
dude.
That song's
See,
hot.
if R. Kelly didn't piss on girls, he would have been a legend. If he wasn't like kidnapping women and forcing them to be sex slaves, he would have been a legend.
Or just sold his masters, which they want, and then all these things came out. So little conspiracy on that one.
Yeah,
too,
I mean he could have, but
if
I
he
think
still listen,
did
if R.
kidnap
Kelly's
bitches.
Yes, he was definitely doing things wrong. Just like every big Hollywood superstar person does. But if he sold his masters, none of that would have came out.
For sure.
On wax.
But that just shows how big it is. No one's holding Kendrick's family hostage to sell his masters. So
well, they already own his masters.
Exactly. I shouldn't even have said that.
Yeah.
He already owns them all.
They already own them all.
That's the machine's
why,
pushing them.
That's why they're pushing them.
That's why they're pushing
more
them.
money for us.
Hey,
and they're not pushing Drake.
It makes so much more sense, right? I heard someone say there was like some West Coast artist who was like, "Yeah, man, Drake really fell off." Now I'm like, he fell off. What? He was the most streamed person every month outside of Taylor Swift. If you take Taylor Swift out of the equation, Drake leads every category by a landslide.
Yeah, Taylor Swift's the only one to make his album drop just a little later, as he said. But let's transition off the music now. Let's go to the content world, which is blowing up, obviously, which is definitely part of culture, just like music is now. David Dobrik, the king of YouTube vlogs, has been on, I don't even know how big of an oasis. He's been gone for years.
It's basically been 4 years, but his last vlog before this was 2 years ago. David is, I'm going to be honest with you.
But he's back.
He's back. If you have not seen this vlog, David proved why he is the greatest YouTuber to ever be on YouTube. It's so effortless. Now, I'm so happy that he got away from the 4 minutes and 20 seconds and he's actually telling a story. Now, don't get me wrong. This was like a 2-year story he just told in 14 minutes. So that's why it went longer. But if David does not fucking come back fully on YouTube, it is a slap in the face to all creatives and all of his fans because it's just too good.
Yeah,
like
it is good.
I don't care his friend group. Like I know you're not really big into like I've watched David's vlogs for years. Like before he was very big, I was watching David's vlogs. So it's got a little nostalgic to it. But like a guy like Jason Nash, who was selling his soul on TikTok Live and trying to keep ends meet so he could live in LA and feed his family.
Still selling his soul though, for sure.
But he is. But he's now doing it with David, where he actually gets to make money. Like, bro, this dude cried when David told him like they're starting the podcast up again. This dude cried because he was like, "Holy fuck, I don't have to be on TikTok Live anymore." Like he was like, "I can just be on a podcast with David." I mean, dude, I forget the number that they said, but when David stopped podcasting, like they had a contract deal with whatever company to pay them, like, it's basically like Barstool. You make to your point and then you split the earnings after that. Like just Jason was going to make like $20 million.
And he lost it all.
And he lost, and that's why he's been hurting so bad because he fucking had, $20 million deal. Then he had the vlog. Then he had all these other things, which then people were pushed to his vlog. So now it was a whole funnel into his shit. when all that went away, it cut him at the knees. Couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I just want to say, obviously I pay attention to YouTube vlogs, documentary storytelling videos, more specifically. I used to say, literally 2 weeks ago, I'm like, Logan Paul, by far the best at telling stories, and he still might be. At least for my favorite, I think he fits more of what me and Joshua try to do. Hold on. Logan Paul fits more so like what me and Joshua are trying to do. You know, the cool, athletic, buff guy, smoke a little weed. That's Logan Paul. David Dobrik is a little bit different. Comes from a different slice of the cloth, you could say. That 14-minute video he put out, I shit you not, it got to the 9-minute mark before I checked like how long I was into the video, and I literally was like, that could have been 30 seconds. It is so effortless. It is so good. And there's a reason why he was the king of YouTube for so long.
Do you know what the difference are between Logan Paul and David Dobrik are?
Tell me.
Logan Paul is an entertainer. David is a true and through creative. Like David is shooting his vlogs. He's editing his vlogs. Now, don't get me wrong. David does have a shooter now that helps him shoot things because he's more forefront in
Which
it.
I actually think is super smart.
Because he used to be behind the camera, which he needs to be in front of the camera now. It's at that point where he needs to be in front of a camera.
He also got a ton of hate for being behind the camera and making his friends do dumb shit.
100%.
Like he's got to do the dumb shit.
He's got to do the dumb shit. But in this is completely different. Like when David started, he didn't drink, didn't do anything. He was like an innocent kid. Now when you watch these vlogs, you're like, they're partying, they're fucking, they're doing drugs, which don't get me wrong, if I had probably $100 million, I would be fucking around too. But with that being said, David is actually editing this shit himself. And that's the one thing that I don't think, and that's what makes David so great. And that's why I always think that we have the advantage because we shoot everything ourselves. We edit everything ourselves. We create everything ourselves. Every idea that you guys see is our idea that we are fucking funneling through this. And that's what makes David so great and why he's so much better than everyone else and why it's so effortless to him. Because for the last 10 years of his life, he's done everything. It's his baby. He doesn't send it to an editor. That's the difference between Logan Paul and him. Logan is great and he can do everything. Like Logan's a way bigger star than David, but as an entertainer, Logan can take a crowd and fucking get him going. David's awkward. I've met David in person. He was very awkward.
He's a dud in person.
Exactly, but great.
No hate,
YouTuber.
but he's a dud.
But great YouTuber, right?
Yeah, great.
When I met him in Miami, he was kind of like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" It's like completely different, and I get it. Like the persona on a camera and like that character they've built is different than the real David Dobrik, and I get that.
I was actually just talking to somebody about this today, especially with like kids growing up in this internet age. A lot of them stream, a lot of them make content, a lot of them like want to be in front of the camera. I was just saying today, Joshua, I think kids are going to have an easier time talking to the camera, making content, obviously than any other generation, but then easier than having a conversation with another human.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I think about David. You see him in person, you're like, dude, how is this motherfucker like capturing millions and millions of people and becoming like this like mythical figure in a lot of ways? Because that's what famous people are. They're like mythical figures, even though they're real humans anyways. But then you see him in the vlog and you're like, fuck, that's like a completely different person that I met at fucking Art Basel in Miami.
100%. I mean, I also think in my head too, I'm like, when you have someone who every person they meet is like, oh my God, David Dobrik. And it's like, I can understand how you're kind of like desensitized to that shit. And you're kind of just like, all right, whatever. I don't care who this person is I met in Miami Art Basel. Like, cool, fuck off. See you later. Like, I get it. 100%. If I was Jeff Bezos, he'd have been fucking kissing my feet. I understand how the totem pole works. I'm just saying, in a sense, I feel differently. I'm like, every person I meet, I'm going to give them the same energy, whether you're fucking David Dobrik or you're the garbage man. That's just how it is. And again, I don't have hundreds of thousands, millions of girls and dudes screaming for me every time I go out the house. So I can understand.
Would you kiss Jeff Bezos' feet?
I don't know, man. How much money?
I would suck a toe. I'd suck a
toe.
For
I mean, like, he's
for free.
It's funny you say that because
I'd do it for free.
Jeff Bezos, I think it's like this weekend. He's getting married in Colorado, Aspen, spending $600 million on a
What,
wedding.
to rent out the state or what?
I don't know what it is, but it's $600 million they spent.
That just seems like
I don't even know what that means.
how
What
much
does that
is he
mean?
worth? Like 500 bill, like
No,
last
no.
100 mil, like that's a big dent.
It's $150 billion, I think he's worth.
But that's a big dent.
Yeah, but I like
That's
listen,
still a big dent.
See, this is what I think. When I see a number like that, when they're like, Jeff Bezos, $600 million on a wedding, the first thing I think of is it ain't $600 million,
Yeah,
one.
of course.
But two, it's all these inflated numbers. Like, how much of his company is he expensing on this? Like, oh, we're doing this we're doing this here. Like, to me, it's like has these events. Oh, we're renting a yacht out, but like it's for this, but we're also doing it for this. And it's like, it's gotta be some other way.
It's obviously washed a little bit. It's still a fucking massive number.
But it's like NFL contracts. They'll be like, Jalen Hurts, $600 million. But then when you like really break it down, you're like, it's not $600 million.
Yeah.
That's not that.
He'd have to play perfect and never get hurt.
Yeah, never get hurt, hit all your bonuses.
Yeah.
It's like, it ain't $600 million. So it's like everything is the caveat. You know, I don't know what that is. He could have just been like, yo, I bought a fucking $600 million yacht, and that's where I'm doing my wedding. You know, I don't know.
Maybe
so,
he could play pickleball on the front.
Yeah, that's so sick.
That was wild. But last topic as we round up the show here, we talk about Mr. Beast a lot. The Beast games are now in like episode 5 or 6, I think, on Amazon. They're coming out 10 weeks in a row. But I met a kid today who was actually on the show. He didn't win anything, so this is what I learned. You make bare minimum $2,000 in the show. $1,000 to show up, $1,000 once you get eliminated, $2,000. But there's also times you can like he'll give you $100,000 to leave.
To leave.
You can get $1 million to eliminate your whole team. Which 4 people got asked, would you take $1 million to eliminate your whole team? All 4 said no. Which I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. I would eliminate everybody in a second for $1 million.
I think it's so funny because I know Jimmy's content. I know Mr. Beast's content so well that I'm not playing the game to win the game.
No, you take the money and leave.
You just wait till they get to a point because it's not the first money they offer you. It's normally the second and third is where you get the fucking money. Like, if you watch the first episode, they're like, he goes, all right, before we even get started, here's $500,000. If one person leaves, they get the whole $500,000. But every person, it splits. So it ended up being like 50 people that left. They all got like $50K. And they all walked away. They're like, I was there for 10 minutes and fucking walked out with $50K. And then 2 seconds later, 300 people just got eliminated for free. And then you're just like, I should have just took the fucking money.
And the kid that I met today got offered $100,000 in like the one episode he was like kind of highlighted in, said no, got eliminated, made $2,000.
It's so funny too because they try to like paint you out like, oh, be a good guy and you save your whole line, or be the bad guy. And it's like, bro, it's so funny because it's always the dude. There's like, if you watch the show, it's always the guy who's like, no, man, keep it strong. We're not doing anything. And as the money goes up, they're like, hit the button. Like, it's always the guy who's like advocating the most for no one to hit the button is the one who hits the button. It's hilarious.
Listen, if I'm on a game show, I'm never going to see any of you motherfuckers again. I'm taking the $1 million and flicking off all you guys as you walk out. I don't care. Give me the $1 million and it's over. But the reason I wanted to bring this up, they gave the people, they were tracking them. They had to wear wristbands and then they had to have a thing in their pocket, which literally tracked every single place they went.
Oh, yeah.
Whether they were shooting or not. They knew exactly where you were
Bro,
at.
there's some behind the scenes clips. I don't know the guy's name, so don't quote me on it, but he like follows Jimmy around through the whole Beast games and like documents it. They do like the breakdown of every person, how they filmed them, what it cost. It is banana lands. I mean, they had to have thousands, and I mean thousands of employees to film, capture, organize, cut. It's like, it's almost not even fathomable of how he did this. It's actually not even fathomable.
Jimmy said they had over $100 million budget, and he still lost $5 million shooting the fucking Beast games.
Dude. They said they had like, again, there's how many contestants? Like 1,000 contestants they start with. Every person that was rigged, they had hundreds of camera guys. All their rigs were worth $100K. Every single camera guy had a rig on their own that was $100K. That wasn't including all the hundreds of cameras that are all the way around and the people monitoring them. Like, I've been on sets before that are just like simple commercials. We'll have 50 people there. You'll have people that are just there to support a camera guy. So it's like you start adding a camera, now you got 5 people. So for every camera, you got like 5 fucking people on that camera. Organizing, cutting, then you have a director, then you got producers. Like, they must have multiple producers just to like be like, hey, because producers are just there to put out fires. That's what a producer does. They put out fires. Oh, this is fucked up. I'm going to go fix that. Like, that's their job. So it's like, how many fucking fires were going on that set? 1 million.
Yeah, literally. Too many to count, but honestly, if you made it this far, We love you. Drop a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe. Until next time, peace.
I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road. About to get all this dough. Me and no fuck niggas know. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my dogs that we on road for greatness. They paper getters, they want money more than they want fake shit.